Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself. And what's up, guys? Welcome back to 6 Feet Apart. I'm joined, as always, by my co-host here, Willem.
What's up?
And yeah, you know, it's been another week in quarantine. Another chunk of my soul has left me as I continue
Stare
to
into the darkness.
Yeah, as we continue to, stay inside and actually, continue to live in our mother's basements, even though we said we're more than that. But hey, I'm actually moving out in a few weeks, so let's talk about that for a sec. I'm pumped, bro. I'm pumped. What would you say is like the top 3 things I need to bring with me when I move out?
Oh man, it's actually kind of difficult. All I can say is you don't know how important a spatula is until you move out and you're like, I don't have one.
Hell yeah, okay.
And you think about the basic kitchen stuff you need first, because when you don't have any of it, you're like, well, I'm just picking
time
up
to improvise.
Exactly. We have like one oven mitt too. We use like an oven mitt and like a rag. And it's just like, well, let's hope I don't burn my hand off today.
Bro, that's some forward thinking though. I must give you that. Yep. Absolutely. Like, and yeah, like the spatula, when did you figure that out? Did you have some like half flip pancakes and you're like, fuck?
No, it was more like I was using like anything I could find to be a flipper, and it was like, hey, we really need this. Because we had like like when you're baking or whatever, you have those like silicon like spatula, like tiny little spatula things.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Like, I was using that to like flip eggs and like pancakes, and I'm just like, at that point, I was like, okay, let's reevaluate this right here.
Bro, I can't tell you how many times like I've been like cooking with my family or whatever. They're like, "Yo, pass me the spatula," and I always bring out like the grill spatula, and they're like, "What's wrong with you?" I meant like I meant the other one.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, that's so like SpongeBob taught me that like that's a spatula. They gotta call it something else. You gotta call it like the final scraper or something.
Exactly.
Or like, I guess like I use it definitely mostly if I'm making like cake or whatever. They gotta call it like the cake spatula, the cakula or something.
Something like that for sure.
Anyways, let's just jump into nerdy news, and I think we should start with the Moto Edge Plus.
Yeah. So Motorola with the first flagship phone they've made in like the past 4 years, and it's it's a beast of a phone that also kind of not good at the same time. So I'm kind of conflicted, but it has a headphone jack. So I'm like,
that's all I need.
It's the only one that has that.
Say
less. I mean, that's why it's like the number one contender for me, right? Because I use the jack a lot. Not gonna lie.
Your next daily driver, yeah. I like it. I have to say, I do have like I definitely want to. I guess if you slap a case on like every phone, right? But I do have like one of my pet peeves is because like I hold my phone like in one hand, right, and like behind it, like my palm always like wipes up on the edge,
and then it just touches.
Yeah, it messes like with the screen, and I'm just like, what the fuck.
No, so like those you don't know, it's like the Moto Edge it's a pretty big phone. It's got like a 6.6-inch display, and it has like curved edges that go like 90 degrees. So there's a whole lot of accidental touches like when your palms hit it, but apparently you can turn it off in like almost every app. So like besides the home screen. So
okay, that's maybe, super convenient at least.
Maybe it might work out. The thing also has like 12 gigs of RAM and like 512 gigs of storage. So
let's go, and it's expandable too, eh? Like
I don't think it has an SD card slot.
No. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, it's not like you'd need,
Yeah, if you have half a terabyte, I think you're all right.
You're probably decent. Yeah. Absolutely. Like you can listen to all the, all
the Spotify,
all the Nickelback you want. Yeah. Oh. Spotify. To each their own, I guess.
Yeah, just Dark Horse on repeat.
Buddy, always, every day, dog, every day.
So some new MacBooks came out, right?
Oh, buddy. Yeah, Apple has been pissing me off recently because not only did they release a chassis for the Mac Pro, right? And the wheels on that, man, the wheels on this chassis, they go for $700 altogether. Like
Yeah,
that's
it's insane. You
ridiculous.
could
You know how
buy
many IKEA wheels I could get for $700?
you could buy tires for like a car for that.
Bro, literally, that's wow. How much is a snow tire? Like, I think it runs you back maybe like 500 tops, right?
Something like that, yeah.
Oh, I could literally get a freaking whole like I get a spare tire for that. Oh
Dude,
my goodness.
$700 you could go on like Auto Trader and get a crappy car.
Yeah. You can get a really crappy. Well, I think our buddy Ben bought his truck for 300.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah,
And then
come
he
on,
spent
Apple.
like another like 10 grand fixing it.
Oh, he did. He did. But I mean, $300 though is definitely good starting price for a car, for sure.
Yes.
For sure.
Man, why can't the Teslas go for that, right?
Oh, I would. Hey, Tesla called me this week, check in on me during the pandemic.
Yeah.
I was very flattered by that. And I was like, hey, give me another call 10 years from now, and I would love to buy a Tesla. And they're like, oh, lots of our students, buy Teslas because, like all the money you spend on gas and stuff, you can just use for the maintenance of the Tesla, so it all like evens out. And I'm just like, huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, like they're saying, the Toyota Corolla or whatever, and like Toyota is another brand that's like relatively quality cars. They're saying within like 5 years or whatever, the cost of buying a Toyota Camry, or like a luxury kind of souped up Toyota Corolla, and like a Model 3, it'll even out in 5 years. And
yeah, because I remember
5 years it'll be cheaper for the Tesla.
Yeah, and I remember Elon saying that that was like the whole point of like the Model 3, right? It was the consumer car, like you're supposed to be the most affordable one.
I'm still hoping for a little bit of a cheaper Tesla, or like obviously, as time goes on, there's going to be a little bit of a used market, which is probably what I'd go for because used cars are where it's at.
Right on.
Just get one 1 or 2 years old, save like $15,000, worth it.
Yeah, but back to the MacBook. Anyways, it's going up to $3,000, man.
Yeah, that's insane.
It's ridiculous. You can get something like equally that strong for a lot less, and
you could get something so much stronger for a whole lot less.
Oh man, obviously, man. Like it's and they're like flexing all these things that like aren't even like that big a flex, right? So like 8 terabyte SSD, like that's cool and everything, right? But like how like SSDs work, like the more you fill them up, like the slower they get, and like essentially like the bigger the SSD you have, the like slower your machine will like become because you have like more information on the SSD. And on top of that, they had like they're advertising really strong integrated graphics, which is like I think it was a it was AMD Radeon 5000M or something like that.
Okay.
And I googled that, like I googled the integrated graphics card, right? And then instantly, like this $700 laptop came up, another $500 one came up, and I'm just like, yeah, very, very nice, Apple. Stealing people's money and whatnot.
Yeah. I mean, the only good thing about the new MacBooks are that they don't have the crappy keyboards anymore.
Yeah, I heard they're updating them, man. They all have like the touch bar now too.
Yeah, they have like the Magic keyboard, which is a different type of switch, so it doesn't, break if you get a crumb in it.
Yeah, that's so true. That's so true. Our advice to everyone out there is just, get literally anything other than a MacBook. Like you can get like I remember that Dell laptop that had like the 1050 in it. Which will be stronger than basically I would say most integrated graphics out there.
Yeah. And how much was that? Like
Oh, it was run you back just 1,000. Like I literally like a third of the price.
Okay, so I mean, have you heard of the Ryzen like 4th gen laptop processors?
I haven't. Please inform me.
So it's like AMD's. It's built on like the AMD kind of architecture, the same thing as the desktop chips, and it's like has a 15 watt power draw, and they did a whole bunch of speed tests. And this chip that can be found on, like, I think one of the cheapest laptops it can be found in is $650, is better than like a higher powered i7 gaming processor on the mobile side, and like a little bit weaker than the i9 version. And it has a built-in like integrated graphics that is like on par with, you know, maybe probably a little bit weaker than like a 1050 or something like that. So this
Damn.
thing is just like destroying the competition, and it's cheaper than like everything.
That is, yeah, wow, that is very impressive. And yeah, and then they like the last thing they were like flexing on is the like DDR4 RAM, and like my laptop I bought like 2 years ago had DDR4 RAM, and like I guess that brings us to our next thing we want to announce, which is DDR5 RAM, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so DDR5, like, you know about RAM speeds, right? So
Yeah.
the default for DDR4 was like 23, 33 megahertz. And then they were just able to like refine it a little bit, so you can see, you know, RAM running as high as like 36, maybe 3800 if you're paying like lots and lots of money. But then they're saying that DDR5 has like a top ceiling of like 8400 megahertz, which is a
Wow.
big jump. And then it's also uses less power, and they're able to fit more like RAM per like RAM chip. So it'll be a lot cheaper to get high performance 16 gigabyte RAM sticks.
Damn.
So it's
That is very impressive. That is
it's
very, very impressive.
yeah, it's a pretty big boost. And one
I
thing that I think is pretty cool is the Moto Edge Plus is one of the first phones to actually use DDR5 RAM.
I love that. I love that a phone is coming out with more advanced RAM than the like most current MacBooks.
Yeah, I mean, it's DDR5 isn't supported by any processor on the desktop side at the moment.
Oh no,
Yeah,
okay.
so
So it's purely like it's purely been like manufactured for like mobile use right now.
right now, yeah. I mean, there might be some obscure like server processor that supports it, but nothing on the consumer side. It's like
Hmm.
usually new RAM standards go to servers first, and then they come to the consumer side like a year or two later. So it's probably not going to be till like Intel 12th gen or AMD, you know, 5th gen that we see, you know, DDR5.
Wow. Wow. That's yeah, that's very, very that's a lot to think about, honestly, because like once we have like faster RAM speeds, you know what that means, right?
Load stuff in faster.
Yes, sir. And infinite Google Chrome tabs. Let's go.
Yeah. Did you see the Linus Tech Tips where they put 2 terabytes of memory in a machine, and they're just like, well, let's see how many Chrome tabs we can open.
No, but I did see him do a DIY spot welder.
Yes, that was hilarious, especially when he almost blew up one of those batteries.
Yeah, yeah. He's like, no one try this at home. It's just super dangerous. And he almost, yeah,
Blows it
like
up.
literally, yeah, blows up the battery. He's like, yeah, now I definitely won't try this at home. Thank you, Linus.
Exactly. Yeah, no, some of the stuff that he has are just like so janky. He's just like, I'm just gonna make this, and you see it, it's like, oh, there's no way that can be safe.
He's like, oh yeah, these are if you're trying to make a do-it-yourself spot welder at home, you're typically gonna have to take apart a microwave and like take this component out. And I'm like, huh, this really sounds bad
Yeah, and
because
then he's like AC power, 400 like watts, and I'm like, no, thank you.
whenever you're messing with something that like gives off like radiation, I'm just kind of like, nah, that's way out of my comfort zone,
Yeah, if I need a spot welder, I'll buy one on Amazon. Or more likely, I would probably never need a spot welder. So, shall we move
Uh,
on to the David Dobrik news?
we shall. There's not not a whole lot this week, but we have his old pal Ilya moved in to quarantine with both him and his assistant Natalie there.
So
Um,
is he going to be like a full time there? Or is he going to move out after this is all over?
all I know is that Ilya owns I think plumbing company, so He's definitely sitting on like a lot of cash. Probably less now though because of like all the social distancing measures and stuff. And
Yeah.
I know it's like really bad in California because like California is so population dense because everyone's like, oh, you know, like I have a chance to make it in whatever industry. Let's move down to LA, you know? So I mean, hopefully, because I think Ilya is definitely like one of the most like entertaining characters like on the vlogs because he always gets, you know, like really like drunk
And then hilarious.
and like does hilarious stuff. But yeah, it's like really, it's like another one of those like cool things that you only see on David Dobrik's vlogs because they were all like friends in high school together, right? And now they're all like
it's crazy
working
to see
together.
how it evolves.
Absolutely. 100%. Now, like we cut through everything as fast as we could because we have a big ass bracket this week.
Yeah, I mean it's also something that is very dear to our hearts, especially.
And apparently yours too, as the winner from last week's bracket was cold cereal. Woo! So we thought it would only be appropriate to do like which cold cereal is the best this week. And just a quick disclaimer, we took out like any of the cereal that would make like a child cry. So that's like, you know, bran flakes, grape nuts, shredded wheat. And we just left in all like the fun ones, like, you know, corn pops or like Fruit Loops. So
Because only
let's
quality on this bracket.
Oh, absolutely. We want the caviar of breakfast cereals here.
Exactly.
You know?
No fiber one.
No. Oh my goodness. But yeah, I think I have a couple late additions to the bracket if we could add that.
Okay. We'll probably need to add 4 more if we can.
4 more?
Yeah.
Okay, I got two because I forgot about Shreddies and this one, which I can't believe I forgot about. Honey Bunches of Oats.
Oh, geez, that's good.
But then we can also put in like
I mean, we can put in selects. I like select.
Yeah, as I was gonna say, cranberry selects and one more. I got this. Let's do rice checks.
Right. Okay, so we got rice checks. And what's the other one that we had? We had selects. And what were the other two?
We had Honey Bunches of Oats, rice checks, selects, and Shreddies.
Okay. Okay, we good.
All right.
This is now going to be the biggest bracket we've ever done.
We're going places, boy. We're going places.
Exactly. So shall we get right into it?
We shall. All right. So our first contender for the bracket is Corn Pops versus Frosted Flakes. Willem, opinions, thoughts?
The commercial for Frosted Flakes is just raises the bar so high.
Yeah, I hear they're great.
Exactly.
For 5 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. After 5 minutes, becomes mush.
But yo, have you got you're one of those like super lucky like genetic pools that you haven't had to get like your wisdom teeth out, right?
Yeah, no, I haven't.
Oh man, when I got my wisdom teeth out, I had like Frosted Flakes in the blender, and like it's pretty good when all you're eating is like baby food. And oh man, what else do they have? Oh, applesauce when that's like your diet for like 2-3 days, and you can get a little chunkier than blended. Oh, Frosted Flakes, mint, absolute mint. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Frosted Flakes on this
Frosted Flakes. Yeah, I mean honestly, I'm probably gonna have to pay for the wisdom teeth later on in life. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, have you got like some like update recently saying that those bad boys are there? And
no, it's like my dad was the same thing. He didn't get some of his wisdom teeth removed, and like he had to get one removed last year or something, and it did not go well at all. So it's like, well, I guess prolong the pain, but
hey, you know, as long as it's like not in the present, it's out of mind, you know?
Exactly. That's my philosophy.
It's good, you know? It's like procrastination, you know? Procrastination's key. Like it's always can be done later. There's always time.
Why do today what you can do tomorrow, as my dad reminds me when I'm too lazy to do chores.
Procrastinators of today unite tomorrow. Oh, I love that. That was a great saying. Let's go, Rory. Anyways, next in the bracket.
Our next in the bracket is Captain Crunch versus Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Yeah, this is a hard one. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean it is, but again, that commercial.
Yeah, like with the cereal, the cannibal. Yeah, cannibal Cinnamon Toast Crunch, right?
It's so good. Like it works so well.
Yeah,
I don't understand.
Yeah, and yeah, like I've said before, it's like, I've finished both the both of these boxes in one sitting at least. Like, I've had like a time where I've finished a whole box of Captain, and I've had a time where I've finished like a whole box of some of my my Cornwall friends will remember a time I was at a party and I was just there with my my box of Cinnamon Toast Crunch, eating Cinnamon Toast Crunch out of a red Solo cup until I fell asleep.
It's the way to go. Remember, like the first time you came and slept over at my house, and then the next morning you had like 6 bowls of cereal.
Oh, buddy, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Sometimes it just hits me bad when I can just like eat, and just keep eating cereal.
Yeah, it just tastes so good that day. It's like music, Sometimes you listen to music, it sounds so good. Same thing with cereal.
Yeah, like when you find that like one song, it's like that one cereal. You just keep, instead of listening to it over and over again, you keep eating it over and over again.
Exactly. It just hits different.
In one sitting. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, so City Toast Crunch mixed to the next round.
Mm-hmm. So then we have French Toast Crunch versus Rice Krispies.
Have you had French Toast Crunch?
I have not.
It's good.
So I'm just waiting for you to, enlighten me so I can make a decision on this.
And sorry, what was it going up against again?
Rice Krispies.
Rice Krispies. Fuck. Bro, okay, well it's gonna have to be Rice Krispies because like you can make Rice Krispie squares, and there's like that whole like series of commercial. Did you remember like Rice Krispie squares commercials when they would all have like a song and they would like sing about why like either the strawberry Rice Krispie bar or the like the rainbow chocolate chip one was better. Yeah, that was like a great campaign because it'd be like, yo, text this number to whatever one you like,
Yeah, this cereal is always kind of weird because it's like it's not super sweet, but it's just like
it can be
satisfying to eat. Yeah, I mean it can be. Yeah,
like there's vanilla Rice Krispies I've had. I know there's definitely chocolate ones. Oh, the vanilla ones, man, are so good.
I didn't have those until a few years ago. They're so good.
It just turns your milk into vanilla milk, and you're just like, I can't complain,
Exactly.
But,
so I think,
yeah. Let me just explain though, like how good French Toast Crunch is. So the cereal itself, right? It's shaped like little slices of bread, very aesthetically pleasing. And it's maple flavored.
Oh wow!
So it comes to play, but it's just I don't know. You can't beat the classics on this one, honestly. Rice Krispies.
I think I'm definitely gonna have to try some French Toast Crunch.
Oh, buddy, like I was saying, man, we're gonna have like a nice cereal connoisseur night.
You pick half of this list. I pick half of this list. Get them all.
We'll have cereal the world's dining night.
There we go.
Oh, sounds great. All right, what's our next contender?
So these are like some big names in the game. That's Lucky Charms versus Fruit Loops.
I don't even know where to start.
This is just like debating our childhood right here.
Bro, I love Lucky Charms, man. And I love Fruit Loops. Like what do you think, bro? What are you feeling?
I mean, I think I have to go with Fruit Loops because like the original Lucky Charms, the actual cereal in there wasn't the best. It was just like the marshmallows that were really good.
Yeah, I feel like
it's also kind of weird because you remember when they came out with chocolate Lucky Charms?
Oh yeah, bro, I had those when I was like really young, and like I used to go to Florida. Like our grandparents used to take us to Florida for March break, and my grandpa, very generous man. We one time we arrived and there was 21 boxes of sweet cereal in the pantry, and we're just like, yes. And one of those was chocolate Lucky Charms, and we weren't typically allowed to like eat chocolate cereal because like my parents like to keep us healthy and whatnot. But since we were on vacation, all rules were out the door, and I would enjoy a nice bowl of chocolate Lucky Charms to wake up.
Yeah, I always found it so funny how in like the regular ones you would have very few marshmallows and like lots of the regular cereal, but then when the chocolate ones came out, it would be like there would be a little bit of chocolate cereal and so many marshmallows. Like the ratios were so different, and it was just so good.
Yeah, and I've also heard someone refer to Lucky Charms as cat food with marshmallows in it.
That's, I mean, the only thing really good about it is the marshmallows. So, who's taking the dub?
I miss the blue Fruit Loop back when we could have like artificial coloring in Canada.
Oh, I mean, all the blue like stuff just tastes good. That blue raspberry flavor.
Oh, blue raspberry is the best flavor of anything. I'll fight anyone on this. It's delicious. Blue raspberry popsicle, blue raspberry,
Jolly Rancher.
Jolly Rancher, man. Oh, the best, the bomb. What else is blue raspberry? Gum, like chewing gum. Oh, that stuff's good. It makes your like cheeks tingle and stuff. Yeah.
Also yum.
Okay.
So Fruit Loops wins. Yeah.
And next?
All right. The next we have Honey Bunches of Oats and Shreddies.
Honey Bunches of Oats.
Yeah. I mean, we don't even need to debate.
I do give Shred, like, it was a very clever, marketing campaign when they were selling like diamond and square Shreddies. Like that was sick. I'm Diamond Shreddies gang. You?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, Diamond Shreddies. Let's go. So good for Honey Bunches of Oats is just great because it's everything. You got your flakes, you got your bunches of oats, got your honey. It's truly the best of all worlds.
It's good. Do you remember when they switched to like adding the stars on the price tag so you could see like how healthy it was?
Oh yeah, man. Oh
Honey
my
Bunches
god.
of Oats got 2 stars.
Yeah.
2 out of 3 stars. So it tastes good, and according to a grocery store, it's healthy.
Yeah. In quotes, healthy,
Yep.
I'll accept it. Absolutely. All right. Next we have.
All right. So we got Honey Nut Cheerios and Golden Grams.
Have you had Golden Grams?
I feel like I have, but a really long time ago, so I don't remember them too well.
So Golden Grams are basically unflavored Cinnamon Toast Crunch, I believe.
Okay.
And oh my gosh, it's good. It's like graham wafers. Yeah, so it's like miniaturized those, so it's like little honey flakes, but the texture is like a bit different. Just basically imagine honey cinnamon toast crunch. And what was going up against it again?
Against Cheerios, well, Honey Nut Cheerios.
Honey Nut Cheerios and Honey Nut Cheerios.
I think Golden Grams has to win. That description just sounded too good.
It is good. I know there's some diehard Honey Nut Cheerios fans out there.
I have to say I'm kind of one of them.
Me too, man. I freaking love Honey Nut Cheerios. But yeah, no, Golden Grams are also just like, I know they're definitely more popular in America than they would be in Canada because I think they started out there and they kind of moved out here. But yeah, let's do Golden Grams.
Alrighty.
Sorry, Cheerio fans. We love Cheerios, just Golden Grams are fire.
So here's another one that I've never heard of before: Cookie Crisp, and versus Apple Jacks.
Cookie Crisp. Have you ever had Chips Ahoy, but they come in like the little like packages and they're like little small cookies?
Yes.
So it's literally that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's literally that in a huge box, and it's great because what kid doesn't want cookies for breakfast?
Yeah. Can that one win, please?
Yeah, yeah. It might. So, sorry, Apple Jacks. Even though you're a delicious cinnamon Fruit Loop knockoff, we're gonna have to go with
Chips Ahoy is like one of my favorite cookies.
yeah, cookie. Oh, buddy.
I can dust an entire box. Like if you get me a box of those Chips Ahoys.
Yeah, and then if you're feeling a little frisky, you get like the Chunks Ahoy. Ooh.
Oh, yep.
Oh yeah, those like Chips Ahoy, like the soft bake ones, like the chewy ones. Have you had those?
I don't think so.
Oh my, well, we're gonna start a list, bro, and these are all the foods I'm gonna have to show you, dog.
Yes.
You've totally had them at my house. What are you saying?
Maybe. I can't remember them.
You can't
though.
remember. I know they're not like, I guess, that great that you like distinctly like remember them. They're just kind of it tastes like raw cookie dough, but it's different than like the kind of like desert bite you get after
Regular
yeah, like why are they so dry, man? Like it's literally like I don't get why like they make Chunks Ahoy and like the President's Choice, like the decadent chocolate chip. Like why do they make that so dry?
Those are another one. I don't know, but I like them so much.
I love them so much too, but like I guess it's oh my god, controversial opinion. My hot take, Willem. My hot take right now is that's the Milk's cookie, not Oreo. Chips Ahoy, the dry cookies, because you need milk.
Yes, they do. Like
to chase that down.
Oreo in milk is just like, well, now I got a wet Oreo.
Yeah.
Chips Ahoy in milk is now like
it equalizes it.
Exactly. It just creates a new cookie.
Yeah, an equilibrium of deliciousness. Exactly. Perfect. All right. So Cookie Crisp wins.
Yeah.
Let's go.
All right. Then we have Cocoa Puffs versus Raisin Bran.
Cocoa Puffs and Raisin Bran, eh?
So this is probably going to be controversial, but I think I'm going to go with Raisin Bran.
Bro, I'm going to go with Raisin Bran too, man. You want to know why? Because Cocoa Puffs, even though it's like chocolate for breakfast again, it's just Raisin Bran's great because like it just reminds me of like it's one of those cereals kind of like Lucky Charms that you just go into the box and pick out like the raisins and like the good part.
Raisins taste so good.
They're so good. I think anything coated in sugar tastes like a million times better. But like Raisin Bran definitely found out like the formula for that for sure.
Yeah. The only bad Raisin Bran story I have is when we were at the cottage and poured myself a nice big bowl of Raisin Bran. And then like 2 seconds later, the raisins started moving. Because it was filled with ants. And I was like, ew.
Oh, it sounds like a good protein booster to me.
Hey. You don't need meat for the rest of the day, right?
Yeah.
No chicken, just
I had my serving of ants today. Thank you very much. I am good.
Yeah, when's that gonna show up on the Canadian Food Guide? Your daily serving of ants. Get half a cup a day, right? So, right, we have Mini Wheats versus Reese's Puffs.
All right. Reese's Puffs.
Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%.
Bro, there's the rap. You can't mess with the Reese's rap. Eat 'em up, beat 'em up, beat 'em up, beat 'em up. Reese's Puffs, Reese's Puffs. Oh, so good. So catchy. Peanut butter, chocolate cereal. Can't go wrong. Mini Wheats. You know what Mini Wheats are? Mini Wheats is the wolf in sheep clothing, It's this, very ugly cereal, shredded wheat, with sugar on top to make it look more appealing. But no, I see through it. I see the wool that was pulled over my eyes is now lifted, and I see it's literally just shredded wheat with a little fun boost on it. So it's going to have to be the other one.
Yeah. I
Reese's
agree,
Puffs.
100%.
Let's go.
100%.
Let's go.
All right. So our final one on this side is Rice Chex versus Selects.
Rice Chex versus Selects.
The Costco special.
Have you had Rice Chex other than like the normal flavor?
No. Just normal.
Well, let me tell you. Okay, there's like There's chocolate checks and what else can I name off the top of my head? Chocolate checks and honey checks is what comes to mind. The honey ones are really good.
Oh, I've had honey checks. Yes, I remember honey checks.
Honey checks are really good.
Yeah, I think that wins. I think that beats over selects.
I wish select say.
Hmm.
I agree. I have to agree. Absolutely. Delicious. And since it's rice, you can also make like Rice Krispie squares out of them too, except it's rice check squares, and it's just like a different phenomenon,
Yeah, just different.
Sweet.
All right. So our second round is going to be Frosted Flakes versus Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I'm sorry, man. Freaking like it's just Cinnamon Toast Crunch is like good to like even when it's like wet, it's still like considerably good as opposed to like Frosted Flakes, which is like way better first in the bowl.
Yeah, when you just dip it in milk and eat it right away.
Absolutely.
Yep, 100%. Even though both of them have very good like just dry cereal snackability.
100% agree.
So
sorry, Frosted.
Yeah.
Cinnamon takes it.
Bye, Tiger.
Mm-hmm. Not so great now, eh?
Not so great. So we have Rice Krispies versus Fruit Loops.
Oh man, Fruit Loops. Please and thank you. Yeah. Absolutely. It's they always have that smell to them when you like open up the bag, right?
Yeah.
And that's just an iconic smell and just like Rice Krispies, we love you for all your many purposes, all your different purposes, such as, normal breakfast cereal, can be made into a square. You could probably stick your phone into it, like normal rice. If you ever dropped like your phone in the toilet or whatever. It probably won't work as well, but it would probably still have some function to it. But Fruit Loops are gonna have to win.
And you'd be able to hear if it was working. If you could just hear the snap crackle pop, you'd be like, "Oh, the moisture's coming out of the phone."
It's true. It's true. Like, oh, this is great. Anyways, Fruit Loops. All right.
So our next one is Honey Bunches of Oats versus Rice Chex.
Damn.
This is tough.
I'm about to say Rice Chex, honestly.
I think I agree with that.
Just because, I feel like a fool for saying that now because I like my granola. I like some crunch when it comes to my cereal, and like
Rice Chex don't have that. That is true.
And like, no, 100%. A Honey Bunch of Oats also comes in like, I'd say more varieties because there's like the normal, your standard Honey Bunch of Oats. There's the vanilla almond one, and then there's also this lovely apple cinnamon one that has like freeze dried apple in it and stuff and cinnamon. It is delicious.
It is a very versatile cereal.
Rock on.
All right, I agree with that. So now we have Golden Grams versus Cookie Crisps.
Yeah, Cookie Crisp. I'm gonna say, because again, cookies for breakfast is enough to make any kid want to eat it.
Exactly. It's so good.
100%.
Then we have Raisin Bran versus Reese's Puffs.
Raisin Bran versus Reese's Puffs.
I think Reese's Puffs gonna have to win. When you just get Reese's Puffs and you put in some Nutella and then you put in some peanut butter, it becomes a whole new thing.
Yeah, and again, Raisin Bran is kind of like I was saying about mini wheats with the wolf being in the sheep's clothing. I see you, Bran Flakes. I see you trying to be healthy, but having like the sugary, raisins to distract us, make us like think this is actually a great cereal. But no, I see you, Bran Flakes. So let's go.
Just trying to fake its way through.
Bro, that's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying. Reese's Puffs takes a cake. And also, like we mentioned in our last episode, Reese's Puff is enjoyed thoroughly with some peanut butter and or Nutella on top of it.
So here we have Cinnamon Toast Crunch versus Fruit Loops.
That's the next one.
Yeah. This is a pretty strong bracket, right?
This is definitely going to take some debate on our part. Okay, so,
I mean, Fruit Loops has more of like a childhood, like
vibe,
nostalgic feel for me, because like I didn't have I saw the commercials for Cinnamon Toast Crunch, but I could never really have it. But Fruit Loops, like cottage in the summer, a few boxes of Fruit Loops would show up.
Oh, buddy, 100%, 100%. I was the same way. I'm trying to think of the first time I've ever had Cinnamon Toast Crunch, because I remember it was like a long time for me as well. Before I had it. I think I was easily like double digits. So I was easily like 13 or something.
Exactly. Yeah, same.
Damn. Yeah, we're gonna have to go for Fruit Loops. We can't betray our childhoods like that for nostalgia. The nostalgia factor is a very powerful variable.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And then we have quick Fruit Loops is up again real quick. We have Fruit Loops versus Honey Bunches of Oats.
Yeah, Fruit Loops, because it's just the nostalgia factor.
It's just so good.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have Cookie Crisp versus Reese's Puffs.
Yeah, this is another hard one because it's kind of like, what are like more, cookies or peanut butter cups?
I think personally, I'd have to go Cookie Crisps.
Why?
Because cookies are so good, man. Especially Chips Ahoy ones. And especially if the cookies and Cookie Crisps are like dry, like the ones you would get from the store. It works so well.
Could you like name your top 3 desserts? Are cookies in them right now?
Oh yeah, I would probably have to say. I mean, it's not really fancy desserts. I'd probably say chips, Nanaimo bars, and cookies.
Damn. Oh, you get some junk food. Yeah. No, I would definitely. That was gonna be like mine too. Like I was gonna say, I think number 1 would be cookies, and then number 2 would be Nanaimo bars, and then number 3 would be oh damn, that's hard. Probably like Cinnamon Toast Crunch, but that's out of the bracket.
It just doesn't have that nostalgia factor.
It doesn't have the nostalgia factor, of course, and nostalgia is very powerful. I was actually learning about nostalgia the other day, just to get off topic real quick. And I learned that I believe it's actually like a Swedish term, because there was like these soldiers in Sweden, and basically they would come back to the hospital with some sort of like PTSD thing, and they weren't able to like fight at war because basically they missed their like home life so badly, right? And that's where they came out with like the word nostalgia, and like nos means like to like think back, I believe, and nostalgia, like the other half of the word, means pain. So nostalgia used to be like a painful term, like a term for being like in pain because you're like stuck in the past, basically. And now it's seen as something like actually that's like super hopeful, like, oh, a father will see like a toy that brought him joy when he was like young and give it to his son.
Yeah, I also can kind of see like nostalgia is like in some cases bittersweet. You're just like, when you remember something, you're like, oh man, those were the good days, right? And you have like a little bit of longing there.
Oh, 100%, 100%. And I guess like depending on where you are mentally, you might might interpret it as pain or
So yeah, I think it has like 2 really strong meanings.
Absolutely.
That's dope.
Nostalgia. All right.
That'll be the word of the day.
Let's go. Word of the day. All right.
All
So,
right,
but yeah, Cookie Crisp, eh?
Cookie Crisp.
Let's go for
Okay.
it. Cookie Crisp.
And then this is the final one. This is for the bread right here. Fruit Loops versus Cookie Crisp.
Fruit Loops versus Cookie Crisp, eh? Okay, you pick one, and I'll be devil's advocate.
Okay, so I haven't eaten lunch, and I'm hungry, and I would like nothing better than a bowl of cookies.
Damn, that's pretty strong. I often feel that way. As what are you? Are you a sweet or savory guy?
I mean, it depends on kind of like what style of food. If I'm getting like crepes or something, I'm almost always savory. But I don't know. Would you say a cookie? Well, I mean, they're definitely both sweet, but I would say overall, I would say savory. But I mean, cookies are just so good.
Yeah, yeah. Like I would definitely say I have like a bigger sweet tooth than I do savory, but I could eat way more savory stuff than I could sweet, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
that's true. Maybe that has something to do with us, buying $20 of candy
Oh, bro.
at the dollar store on Halloween and then eating it all in one night.
I literally I can't do that anymore, man, you know? Like I literally could not like at least, like I couldn't like have 3 bags of sour strips or whatever we'd have like without feeling like, oh, this is gonna like, rot my teeth, or without just feeling like complete garbage now,
Man, it's just a sign of getting old.
Oh,
Can't
apparently.
can't pound back the candy like we used to.
Oh, yeah, but yeah, my go-to right now is water. Like water is, I've realized how underrated water is. It's like, say
It's
like, have you ever gotten like bedtime munchies before? Like you're about to go to bed, but you're like just hungry enough you could like eat, and you're like, you don't really know if I should just like sleep off and sleep
yes,
this off and like eat in the morning or have like something before bed.
I've had that more than once for sure.
Yeah, but then like you eat like too much before bed, and then you get like wicked heartburn or whatever.
I've had that too. Man, one time I had a spicy burger, like it was a limited time, really spicy burger at the works. It threw my entire system out of whack for like 2 weeks because I ate too much right before bed. Oh man, it was a mess.
Bro, that's horrible, man. Absolutely. But yeah, like water's perfect because like supposedly your brain like recognizes like when your stomach's just full, it doesn't really matter if it's like water or food. So like to kind of like get you past like I just want like a bowl of cereal or whatever before bed. And like you may regret to like past that like ever there like being like a risk of having heartburn, past that, water's like the perfect solution because like it fills you up a little bit. You're hydrated, and that's not a word, a better sleep because of it.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I definitely agree. And like for something that doesn't taste like anything, when
Mhm.
you're exercising and you have a cold glass of water, it just tastes so good.
Oh, it's so much more, it hits differently.
Yeah, it's like you can have cold Gatorade, and it's like, nah, give me that water. Like
Yeah, I swear like water tastes like sweeter like when I'm like
when you're
super
thirsty.
parched. Yeah,
Yeah.
isn't that what, that's so wild, man. Is water wet?
Yes.
I don't even want to get
Yes.
into this argument. I think it's the most pointless argument that's ever ended up on the internet of like ever. But it's still so funny how like heated people get into it. It's like, oh, like would you call the ocean wet? And I'm
Yeah.
just like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Sweet. Okay, well this has definitely helped me think further, and yeah, I'm gonna have to go with yeah.
I'm so on the fence though,
This is
because Fruit
hard.
Loops are still so good.
This is really hard. This is very hard. But you know what? I'm gonna argue Fruit Loops. I'm gonna argue Fruit Loops.
Okay,
There's
let's hear the argument.
there's the lovable mascot Toucan Sam, of course.
Hmm. And again,
just follow your nose, you know?
those commercials
Those
gotta play a part,
commercials
right?
were great, man. There was literally like they set up like a website with like flash games for Fruit Loops, you know? That's commitment right there.
Yeah, that's also a little bit of like underhanded child advertising.
Yeah, very true. Very true. It's definitely like
It might not fly in this day and age.
well, no one would care. I would be like, "What?" Like, you know, I own like an Xbox now, you know? So
Yeah,
it's
that's
like,
true.
man, remember PlayStation 3 when it first came out? Wasn't it like $700 or something?
Yeah, no, the PlayStation. I watched a YouTube video on this like a few days ago, and the performance increase from the PlayStation 2 to PlayStation 3 was so huge that like the PlayStation 4 is just such a tiny little bit of an upgrade.
Oh, buddy, completely. Like you went from like, you know, wired controllers to wireless.
Yeah, we went.
Um,
Yeah, I think like even on the hardware side, it was like a single core processor at like 400 megahertz that went to a 7 core processor at 3.3 gigahertz. Like
jeez.
that's insane.
That's crazy. Let alone that like it could actually play like, you know, Blu-rays, which were like the shit back in the day. You know, if you had
Yeah,
like, a Blu-ray player, it's like, oh yeah, you know you're gonna have like a sick movie night.
yeah.
Um
I mean, that's what I'm using my PlayStation 3 for. Just there to play some movies.
hell yeah, hell yeah. There you go, repurposing, you know? That's some great thinking. Absolutely.
Uh,
Um, but yeah. So
we've gotten so off topic.
hey, you know, anything to increase the length of this podcast and therefore make it seem of higher quality than it actually is.
I mean, you said it, not me.
I'm a believer in this podcast. However, I I know we've exceeded Joe Rogan. But yeah, it's definitely actually no Joe Rogan if I think about it. Anyways, yeah.
Oh,
I'm sticking with Fruit Loops.
before we go back to this bracket,
Yeah.
I can't believe we didn't mention this. Have you heard of Elon Musk's new like kid's name?
Oh, buddy, Zaya 12 or whatever, XAE. Oh my god. Oh
Yeah,
my
and then
god.
they both are just like, well, how do you pronounce it? And they have completely different ideas. It's like, whoa, I feel sorry for you, kid.
Bro, that's gonna be like what Brock names his kid, man. The more I talk to Brock, the more I realize how hipster he is.
He's gonna be the gangster dad.
Like he literally, like, man, he has it all, man. The only thing he's missing out on is like the regular, you know, trips to Starbucks or hanging out at like coffee shops, you know. Because I don't think he's even touched coffee in his life.
Yeah, and man, neither have I.
No,
Just
no. I'm a fiend for coffee, man. If I like if I were to like suggest any coffee, I would say uh like go to, yeah, definitely like Starbucks. But supposedly Starbucks and McDonald's is actually the same coffee because it's from the same supplier.
ah,
So that's a fun fact of the day.
and McDonald's coffee is just so much cheaper.
Yeah, man. It's branding's everything. Like when we were talking about like the MacBooks recently and like, you know, just because it's like the just because it's Apple, right? Like they're able to like increase the price even more. And just like Starbucks, just because it's Starbucks, they can increase the price because they're this like recognizable brand, you know. Not saying that McDonald's isn't a recognizable brand, because holy shit, McDonald's, there's one in like every corner, you know.
Yeah, McDonald's brand though is like cheap, and
It's, yeah,
Starbucks
affordable.
brand is expensive coffee, so
Yeah,
kind of
and
works.
divine and like elegant.
Yeah, I wonder if you could do like an experiment and just get a whole bunch of McDonald's coffee and put it in Starbucks cups and just see if people can tell the difference.
Yo, hey, when we reach multimedia platforms, like when we start shooting videos, that could be a possible idea.
Yeah,
Cool.
definitely an idea.
All right, let's decide this bracket right
All right,
now.
I think I agree with your Fruit Loops.
Fruit Loops. I'm gonna go
It
for Fruit
just
Loops.
it's got the commercials, it's got the nostalgia.
We're
it's
going
got
for the nostalgia
taste.
factor, eh?
I mean, it's got everything. It tastes good. It's like it's a complete package. Cookie Crisp like probably tastes great, but I don't know what a good
It's
mascot
close.
is for it. You know.
I'm honestly, this was not what I was expecting the contenders to be. I was expecting Cookie Crisp to like kind of fall off for I don't know why, but I don't feel like a lot of people talk about it.
Yeah, I think it's definitely the sleeper of the bracket for sure.
Yeah. Oh my
It
gosh.
was like the fifth seed that made it to the end.
it got there, man. It's the underdog.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is really funny to say because the mascot for it is a wolf. But yeah, let's go Fruit Loops. But of course, we'll want to hear your opinions on the poll as well. On my Instagram, is there anything you want to talk about, Willem?
No, I think we kind of covered all of it.
I did want to interject one thing, and that was about the legend Tekashi 6ix9ine. Oh my god, the rat! Holy hell, bro! Like this guy, so he's in prison for doing like horrible things. I just want a quick disclaimer. I'm a believer that you can separate the music from the artist, much like you can separate the character from the actor. But this man, like he just came out with his first song ever since being free from jail called Gooba. It's okay. It's kind of generic like 6ix9ine song. He's like yelling it into the mic and he's like, fuck everyone, fuck everything. Like I don't care. I'm the best guy who ever lived in New York, And last time I checked, the video came out around like 21 hours ago and he was at 34 million views. So that's very impressive. And since he since he got out of jail for doing these horrible things, I was kind of assuming that people would all be hating on him, but he has like over 1 million likes and like under 500,000 dislikes, so that's a really great ratio for him as well. Do you have any thoughts and opinions?
I mean, I don't even know why he's out of jail. I thought he was still going to be in there for a little while.
It's BS because I know there's like a few other rappers like YNW Melly tried to get out of jail just because he knew that if anyone got coronavirus in there, like they're all screwed basically because they're all together like all the time basically, unless they're in like solitary confinement. And yeah, the world's just crazy. I feel like we should definitely be supporting artists doing good. But hey, apparently, crime sells.
I guess. I mean, I guess supporting artists that are doing good. MGK's been on a heavy YouTube grind.
Yeah, he has been releasing some like really nice music from his bedroom, and he's been flexing on everyone, of course, too, being like, "Oh, hey, #1 from my bedroom, yeah," because he was trending #1 on YouTube for one of his songs, and I was just like, "Let's go, MGK."
Yeah, like, and some of them are completely, out of his kind of style, and they're good.
Which is very strange because the thing, like, literally, like a year ago, he was attacking Eminem.
Yeah, and now he's singing Rihanna covers.
Soft songs, yeah.
Yeah, singing Rihanna covers and killing it.
You know what I think happened is that like Machine Gun Kelly probably took some drugs or something and he felt on top of the world and he's like, you know what? I'm gonna attack the rap god. And he did. And then he like sobered up a bit or whatever. And he's like, damn, that was a mistake. I'm gonna go, get into my fields, find myself, find my real purpose in life, and then he started creating all this like soft kind of like early 2000s rock. Oh, like I love it all. Like everything he's came out with has been really great.
Yeah, I'm definitely a fan.
Sweet. Well, that covers everything for today's podcast. Thank you very much for listening, and we'll definitely catch you on the next one.
Yeah, peace.
Peace. Goodbye.